So if you don't know, about 5 years ago, Little Tay would have to probably have been the most famous 9-year-old to have ever existed. And I reckon she'd probably be the most famous 9-year-old ever in history. So if you don't know who Little Tay is, 5 years ago, out of fucking nowhere, just out of thin air, this girl named Little Tay started posting videos on her Instagram, flexing money, flexing cars, flexing big ass fucking houses, and like the act that she was putting on, and you could 100% tell it was like some kind of act, but she was like, telling everyone about how much richer she is, about how, when she was sick she was broke, and now her family and her is like rich as all hell, and that she's pulling in all this cash, and she has all these fancy cars and these big houses and all that shit. And it was fucking hilarious. Like, you could definitely tell that it was like, to some extent, you could definitely tell it was satire. But then also people were like, where the hell they get this money from? But then it all came out that apparently, like, I don't know the exact story, but at least from what I heard, there was like something, apparently her mum was like some real estate agent, and that's the houses that like she was selling, so they were just kind of flexing in those, and her brother was the one who was actually putting her up to this, kind of make her a bit of a try to make her internet famous, using his sister basically to make her internet famous, make her put on this act and then upload it on like the Little Tay Instagram for her. And then yesterday, once again, out of fucking nowhere, for not hearing about her for a few years, and we did hear about her a couple years ago, and I will mention that in a bit, but for now, I'm just gonna say, out of fucking nowhere, it was posted on the Little Tay Instagram, on her Instagram, from a statement from her family saying that her and her brother were supposedly found dead. So it was a sudden and tragic passing. There was no real details into what happened. All it was saying was that it was sudden and it was very, very tragic. Now, obviously, when this fucking came out, it blew Twitter up. Twitter went fucking insane. Like, Little Tay, at least at the time of recording this, it's number one on trending, and it has 130,000 fucking posts, which is fucking crazy, especially to talk about. I think she's like, what, she was 9 at the time, so she's about 14 years old now. For a 14-year-old to be fucking trending like that after she passes away. Even on YouTube, Entertainment Tonight posted it on their fucking YouTube channel. Rapper Little Tay died at 14. So obviously, it was blowing up, and everyone was just, saying like, what, oh my god, what the hell, this is so sad, the fact that they died. But then there was a lot of people as well who were like saying from the get-go that it is kind of sus. And it was kind of sus. The reason that it was kind of sus was because one, it was kind of a little bit out of nowhere. We hadn't heard about her for fucking years. And in the fact that her and her brother passed away at the same time, a lot of people were, indicating that it was some kind of foul play, or maybe a lot of people were also saying that it was some kind of publicity stunt, that Little Tay was coming out of nowhere just, try and make herself relevant once again, and that it was just a whole publicity stunt. Little Tay herself posted on, not the Little Tay Instagram, but I think it's her personal Instagram, and I'm not 100% certain about it, but Tamani is her Instagram post, and I'm gonna put the photo, the Instagram post up now, a screenshot of it. So I'm gonna go back on my word just a little bit. So it's not her, it's not Little Tay, it's her bigger brother. And he come out and he's basically said that him or his sister do not have access to the Little Tay Instagram anymore. And he also mentioned that apparently it was his parents that put that post up on the internet, because apparently, and this is, like I said, it's all apparently, because it's not 100% certain, and I will get a bit more into their parents in a second, but apparently it's their parents that put that post up because they want them, Tay and her brother, completely wiped from the internet. They don't want them to have anything to do with the internet. They want them completely gone, completely silenced basically from the internet altogether. The thing that I'm alluding to now is apparently, on the Little Tay Instagram, a couple years ago now, Little Tay's brother actually posted on the Instagram, which they don't have access to anymore, but he wanted to raise money for a legal defense, because apparently he claimed that Little Tay's father was physically and mentally abusive. So the fact that, you know, that had come out years ago, that, you know, their parents were physically and mentally abusive to Little Tay and her older brother, you know, and that they were trying to raise funds, and that he posted the video up on his Instagram. I don't really want to show it because it is a little bit sad. It's Little Tay, you know, crying in the background and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, the fact that it goes back, the video that he posted on there was back in 2018. And, you know, pretty much when Little Tay started to get famous, their abusive father tried to gain custody and control of all their money and of their career, you know. And since then we didn't hear anything after that post. I'm pretty sure I can't really find too much else. You know, if you go on Little Tay's Instagram, and even her, you know, like I said, she doesn't have control of the Instagram anymore. And if you go on her YouTube channel, you know, she only has 2 videos up on there. And, you know, the last time that anything was posted was 5 years ago. And, you know, if you look at her description, it was changed to help me, you know. So there's obviously been a cry for help for a long time from Little Tay and her brother. You know, the fact that they have supposedly abusive parents, and the fact that, you know, they would post something like that. You know, I'm not sure if it's the mother as well, but, you know, at this point it seems like it's mostly just the father. Maybe the mother feels, you know, maybe she's being strung in, or maybe she feels like she can't do anything against the father, who knows, or maybe she's in it with the father as well. But it seems like the father's the main culprit of, you know, the abuse towards, you know, these 2 siblings. And I feel heartbroken for them too. Yeah, I really do, you know, especially when, you know, she started to get famous. I felt like, you know, it was to some extent child abuse. You know, I feel like her brother shouldn't have maybe pushed her that far. I think at the time he was 16. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on that, but I think at the time he was 16, so he was significantly older than Little Tay. And, you know, he was putting her up to this, you know, and to some extent it was satire, and I thought the videos were pretty funny. Like I enjoyed them when the whole Little Tay saga came out. I thought it was fucking hilarious. But it's just kind of sad to see it go in this direction, and the fact that, you know, there is foul play involved. I'm glad that they are still alive. You know, I was like, you know, a bit shattered when I heard Little Tay pass. I'm like, man, you know, those videos from back in the day was so fucking hilarious, and I loved watching them when they came up, you know, because at least with me, you know, I could take the joke. I knew she was taking the piss, you know, and the fact that she was getting somewhat internet famous was like good on her, you know, and good on her brother. But it's so sad, the fact that they have, you know, an abusive father who tried to, you know, control basically their career, take all their money from them, and control their whole lives altogether, at least from what it sounds like it. So hopefully we do get updates. You know, you can follow his Instagram. In that post that I showed, he did say that, you know, they will be updating everyone regularly, which I hope he does. And I hope, you know, things come out good. You know, it's good that, you know, at least from now that they're actually not dead and they are still alive. But yeah, it's a pretty shit story, but one that I definitely wanted to talk about, because, you know, Little Tay was pretty fucking famous, and like I said, I love those videos from back in the day. At least the initial ones were pretty funny. But yeah, it's so sad to hear this. But that's it from me, guys. Peace out.